2, 3. And welcome into the second edition of Inside the Dragon Den. I'm Matt Hagen alongside with Coach Stacy. Coach, how was your weekend after the 7 games in 7 days?
I'm wore out. Worn out in a good way, though. I think we improved as a team. I think we're battle tested. We played some really good teams, and I just like the outcome that we had schedule wise. And even though we picked up two teams, I felt like that was two teams that we needed to compete against.
Yeah, you picked up Walker Valley and Lakeway Christian.
Yes.
Lakeway Christian was the surprise. We didn't know how we were going to do coming into that game, and it was a very close, very hard-fought game the whole time.
Absolutely. I think Harrison Shelton had 13 strikeouts. He pitched, again, another great performance. We didn't get the win for him, but if he keeps giving those kind of performances, it's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. 13 strikeouts, no earned runs. Even though it was a 2-0 loss, you can't say anything about no earned runs.
Yeah, exactly. It's just again, another good test. Walker Valley got away from us a little bit, but again, a good test against a really good 4A team, and we like competing against those bigger schools and the ones who bring a good quality baseball to our guys.
Yeah, Walker Valley, they're good in all their sports.
Absolutely,
that's perfect. Come in. Weren't they like the defending district and region champions from
I
last year?
I believe so. They play McMinn County's district, and McMinn County's solid as well. McMinn's a former state tournament team, so that whole district is solid for 4A.
Yeah, and then watching them play, watching you all play, they never gave up.
No.
It may have been a 12-1 Mercy Rule win, but they didn't give up. They tried everything they could.
Absolutely, and we threw somebody out there that was new in the mix. We threw he's not new to pitching, but we put Jace out there to see how he could perform, save some pitching for Sunday, but also at the same time got to put in Jake Rittenberry, get him some varsity time catching. So overall, I think it was a good day for us to just get in there and get some new guys in the mix.
After the game, I went to Rittenberry himself up, say congrats on your first varsity start.
Yep.
You could tell he was a little overwhelmed at first, but he settled down.
Absolutely.
Maybe he had a couple extra balls go past him, but it's a freshman. He's never had varsity experience. Now he knows what the speed's like. Just like Cam Britton. When he first came in, same thing. He was a little bit slower. And
Absolutely.
Now he's turned into a varsity star.
Absolutely. He has. Just couldn't be more proud than these young guys.
Now, a couple of your other games, you had some teams you know from Kentucky came down here. How overall did you think the Clinch River Challenge went for every team, including us?
I was extremely pleased with it. The feedback that we were getting from other teams through text and Twitter kind of justified that we pulled off a really good tournament for our area. The help of Josh Boynton up at Anderson and the other guys who helped host. You got Dave Pritchard at Bearden that helped host, Josh Orrick at Union County, Brian Miracle at Campbell County. You've got Brandon Roberts at Central helped host, Chris Armstrong at Carter helped host, and you had guys like Chuck Hargis at Lakeway that stepped in and helped host one day, and Aaron Simmons at Lenore City came in and helped us with hosting as well. So overall, it was just a good atmosphere of baseball for a solid week, and guys got tested. I think good matchups happened, and I think all the teams came out better.
Overall, 4-3 is not bad.
Not
bad for 7 games.
Yeah. So seven games in 7 days come out of that 4-3. I think that we did our job. So I'm very pleased.
We did a great job. Batting may have been a little bit different this week, but it's hard to have 2 games in 1 day. Some teams had 3 games in 1 day, so that's hard for these players. But our overall team was just. It was fantastic. Pitching was our strong suit.
Yes, pitching, strong suit. It's something I mentioned in the newspaper before this year started. I felt like that would be our strong suit as a team. Also, defense I thought played pretty good. I think we could be better in some aspects, but hitting's going to be hit or miss. Just because, again, we've got some guys in the lineup that aren't used to those velocity changes from team to team or maybe strategies team to team. But that's why it was so good to play 7 games in 7 days, because it gets you used to a tournament atmosphere of a district tournament or a regional tournament or even a sectional tournament or even state.
And speaking of tournaments, we have another tournament starting up on Thursday. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that's the ETBCA, East Tennessee Baseball Coaches Association. That's the local coaches here, and all the way from Greenville and Cherokee, all the way down to the McMinn area and Knoxville and all in between. We come together and we host a tournament. It's the second year that they've hosted the tournament. It's usually a play day, so it's usually a preseason play day. We still do that. But now we're hosting a tournament during the season, and the money and all the proceeds go back to the East Tennessee Baseball Coach Association, which helps with the Hall of Fame for the local coaches Hall of Fame, and also helps with the players who when we do tryouts and all-star games and stuff of that nature.
And we start Thursday.
Yes.
And I know we have one game Thursday. We have at least one game Friday, and then Saturday as well.
Yes. So we got Carnes 4A school playing us on Thursday. Kind of I guess you would call now an out-of-district rival. It used to be a district team that we play. And then Friday we get to play Cookeville and Butch Chafin, who's a good friend of mine and coaches Team USA for the teenagers. And then we get to play Buzz McNeish at Fulton. So it's going to be a good week of baseball again.
We got Thursday and Saturday games are here. The Friday game is at Cal Ripken Sports Park, so that's going to be a good experience for everyone.
Yep, so we get to go up to Pigeon Forge, play at Pigeon Forge High School, and it's going to be a good atmosphere, especially it's Good Friday. So Good Friday, good baseball, it's going to be all good.
Now, what are you looking forward to the most this coming season? What are you looking forward to now watching your players change week to week and even game to game?
I'm looking forward to seeing us go out with some of these upper-level teams and come away with a couple wins. And what I mean by that is, like, we've been in games with really good teams. We need to find a way to get over that hump, because if we can find a way to get over the hump in those games, we can find a way to piece together things in district games to help us put ourselves in a good position in the district tournament.
And then 9-6 coming into this weekend, looking forward to possibly being 12-6, 10-7. It's going to be a challenge because of the teams we're playing.
Yeah, exactly. Like last year at this time, I think I looked it up today. We were 8-5, so one game improvement from the previous years. Not a team that went 17-18. So 9-6 right now. I feel good about that. Again, we've got to come out here and play good baseball if we want to come out here and get that 10th win this week.
And now we'll just go ahead and start talking about some of the individual performances for this week. So pitching, we had one guy who made his first start. Coming back, Ethan Tinker, 11 strikeouts.
Yes.
What did you see in his performance?
Just a fantastic overall performance by him. He hasn't got to throw a lot, if any, bullpens because he's back with the team. But as a senior, to go out there and compete when his name was called was very pleasing to me. With 11 Ks and only one walk, I mean, there's not a whole lot you can ask from him on that standpoint. And again, Harrison's performance was fantastic. I think Nick Kidd did a good job against Bryan Station, and Isaiah Slavin's done a good job in relief as that closer role for us the whole time.
Right. I was going to mention Nick Kidd, 2-0 this week. He's 4-0 on the season now.
Yep.
Has a fantastic ERA, just over 1.4, which is hard to get in any level.
Yep.
Then Harrison's had over 20 strikeouts in his last two appearances. Might have gone 1-1, but only given up one earned run. That's fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me that, they're like, who's your number one, or who's your one, who's your two, and who's your three. And man, it's just I don't think that we have a 1, 2, and 3. I think every guy that if their name's called, I feel like they're our one when they go out there, and that's just the job that Coach Turpin and Coach Crosby's done with our pitching staff. And man, I just can't put my finger on somebody. It's just the number one, because all of them have done such a good job in some form or fashion at one time, and we feel confident with whoever is up that day is in the rotation is whoever's going to give us the best chance to win.
And now we're going to talk about those three. We were discussing it earlier about who our player of the week is for pitching, and I think we both were in agreement for Harrison Shelton.
Absolutely. His performances have been off the charts. The velo's there. His changeup's working. His breaking ball's working. His confidence, his swagger, just his presence on the mound, how quick he works is fantastic. And again, that's all our pitchers are doing a good job at that too.
One other thing I would mention about some of his are not just his pitching, his pickoff moves, and then his defensive fielding. How fast the ball comes back at him. He just stands there like nothing happened, just either knocks it down or catches it right away and is able to get every out.
Yeah, people would probably think if they watch our pitchers play defense and and pick off and do their holds and everything that we do a ton of PFPs. But I think it's just a lock-in that they have and studying the scouting reports on guys and understanding the situations that they've put in before the game with Coach Turpin that has really prepared them for that.
And now we'll switch over to hitting. Who were some of your top performers this week on hitting?
On this week, I'd probably say again, Harrison's done such a good job at the plate, seeing the baseball. It's fantastic just to see him have the early preseason struggles and come back from that. Nick Kidd's always stepped up. He's always threat at the plate. I think Isaiah Slavin always has been our top performer of the year, just most consistent. I'm really pleased with Cam Britton. Cam, I think, has stepped up, is finally understanding how to work counts, understand which swing he has to get off, his A, B, or C swing, and just different aspects on that. Again, J-Smack's not, his batting average doesn't look amazing, but the kid's putting the ball in play, and he's having much better approaches at the plate. And I'm just pleased with the entire lineup right now. Sam Raley just finds a way on. He's got 8 hit by pitches, so again, it's just something that we're really priding ourselves right now. We're giving ourselves chances in games is what I think I'm very pleased with.
So I don't think there's been a game so far that we haven't had bases loaded at least once or twice, which shows they're smart at the plate.
Absolutely.
They're smart base running. Sam Raley, like you were mentioning, not only the hit by pitches, but 11 steals, if I'm not mistaken, already this season.
Absolutely. That's something that we're trying to implement and practice a little more. Like today is our base running. Again, it's something I think that we're lacking and we're a little behind than we were the previous year's team. But I think we're going to get there. Again, it's something we're trying to build on the situational hitting. Again, just harp on that because that's what we're going to need down the road in tight games, especially in district play. But, they keep growing. They keep getting better, and I couldn't be happier with the progress that they make each day.
So, in your opinion, who is the hitter of the week this week?
I would have to say, I'd have to give it to Isaiah Slavin just because, he's still hitting the ball and seeing it well. He struggled a little bit in certain games this week, but again, the consistency of having him at the plate, knowing that there's an opportunity for us to score or at least have a base runner is huge, and he's given us those opportunities.
I know, final category we always have is our fielder of the week. We've had a few new people this week. Will Brooks has had a chance, Alex Duggins, Dallas Beats had a couple opportunities. What do you think about the fielding this week?
So, it's hard to put a finger on somebody. I tell you somebody that we don't really mention a whole lot is the guy behind the plate. J-Smack does a fantastic job. We had one of the umpires come up and tell us, he calls high school and college, and it's one of the better framing guys that he's been with, and just his presence behind the plate and how he's able to talk to the umpires and relay information back to us, especially the new position. I think he's doing fantastic. We had Alex Duggins step up and make some plays in his first appearance starting. We've had some really good defensive efforts in the outfield. But again, it's not perfect. It's not where we want to be right now. So again, it's something that we're going to work on in practice today and try to focus on that and try to get better each day.
Yeah, Alex Duggins was my pick with you when we were talking about for our fielding player of the week. Alex, he had several rocket right to him, never let one get by. I don't think he even missed a single play. Even if he just had to eat the ball, he sat there with it to make sure no one could advance.
Absolutely. He came in and he's been playing well in JV, so we take pride in our JV program with Coach Childs and Coach Burke, and he's done well, and we decided it's time for him to have an opportunity to get in the lineup and see what he can do.
So once again, our players of the week this week were Isaiah Slavin for hitting, Harrison Shelton for pitching, and Sam Duggins for fielding. You mentioned JV, so right before we go, we want to mention. Tell us about last night. I know it was your birthday, so you had a perfect birthday present. Tell us a little bit about how that happened.
Yeah, I did get to see it because I went to a game and scouted a little bit. But I was watching. I kept it on Game Changer in my lap, and I pulled it up and I saw the score and I was like, oh man, that's a good first inning. And then I pulled it up again, probably an inning later, and I was like, oh my, these boys are figuring out how to hit. So it could be. The JV just came out and decided, we've worked enough. It's time for us to see the fruits of our labor, and I was very pleased with their effort yesterday at the 16-0 win. So
yeah, first win of the season. Great job for the JV. Brent Schaefer's one of them. I saw that had one of the best games he's had. And yes, he's a freshman, but he stepped up, and you could tell he stepped up.
Yep, he's been working on his own a lot in the cages. He works over at Diamond, and if he's not here hitting, he's over there hitting. It's just nonstop work for that kid, and he's going to do great things for the next 4 years in our program just because of his work ethic.
So one last thing. What do you want to say to the people about this upcoming week, about what they can watch on Dragon Vision? What are some of the stuff that they can look forward to this week?
I think this week is going to last week showed us the team that we had, showed us that we were able to compete, showed us if we do the right things, we can win those games, showed us what happens when we make mistakes, what kind of holes we put ourselves in, and how to have to fight back from those holes. This week I'm looking forward to 3 games, and it's not 7 games in 7 days, 3 games. See what we do with our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday practice and kind of mindset, and see if we could put all that together for a game against Carnes on Thursday. That's a game that I'd like us to get over the hurdle with us. But again, Carnes is a very, very physical team. Like, they're going to come out here and they're very well built. They know baseball. The guys on that team have played a ton of baseball, not just high school wise, but travel wise. They've been through a coaching change. Through the years they had a fantastic coaching staff, and now they've got another new coaching staff. So to see how they compete with that new coaching staff will be interesting. But to know the background that they've come from, it's going to be a tough team because those guys know baseball. Their baseball IQs are very high, and Carnes always comes out to compete against Clinton. So looking forward to Thursday. I'm hoping that we get a huge crowd here. That's what I'm really striving for, is to get bigger and bigger crowds at our place, just because our guys are really fun to watch. Like, I've watched back some of our games, and to watch it on replay on Dragon Vision, like, I'm enjoying watching it, even though I know what's happening. Even though I know the next play, what's going to happen, I'm enjoying watching it. And it's also helping me work on things that we need to work on, to study and film. I told Coach Locker that's one thing that's different than basketball and baseball. It's hard to study film in baseball compared to basketball, because basketball you can study and pick up on stuff. Well, I've been studying our film, and I've been picking up on a lot of stuff. And that's stuff that we're going to try to work on practice today and practice tomorrow and be prepared on Thursday.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm looking forward to. I know Dragon Vision's going to be at Thursday's game against Carnes. Friday's game we're hopeful right now. We just got to talk to Pigeon Forge. They will help us out.
Yep.
And then we will be there Friday. But the next thing that's going to be on Dragon Vision is tonight versus Anderson. What do you want to tell people about the softball game tonight at 5:30?
Man, I went through the hallways, and the girls were dressed out for the game today, and they are focused. If I've ever seen them focused, they've had a heck of a tournament up in Kingsport. I think it was 5 wins to get to the semifinals or finals, and they ended up playing Halls, so a district opponent, and I think they lost by 1 run. But they're playing really good softball right now, and tonight's going to be another test for them district-wise, to see where they can put themselves in their district standings and give themselves an opportunity to win district. But the girls are so focused. Like, if you haven't went to go watch our girls play, the game that we got to call, they're a fun team to watch. No quit. A lot of high desire to win, a lot of intensity that you don't expect going to maybe a girls' softball game. But I really loved watching them play and getting to call play-by-play with you.
Yeah, we'll be enjoying playing that tonight. Once again, the girls' softball team, I looked on Max Preps to look at the rankings. They are 13th in the rankings in 5A, 38th, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe a little bit higher in the state. That says something about this team.
Yeah, they're playing well, man. I mean, they're playing. Anytime you go to the Kingsport tournament up there, that's where I'm from. If you play in that Brickyard, you have success and make it that far. You've went through some really good softball teams in the area and the surrounding states. So just to see them perform the way they did tells me that they've got things cooking, and they're heading in the right direction, and they're peaking at the right time right now.
Now, once again, what is the theme for tonight?
I believe it's Pink Out, so breast cancer awareness. If you come to the game, wear pink. Also, it's for a good cause, and both teams are playing for the right reasons, and it's just going to be a great night and a great time to watch girls softball, but also remember those who are fighting breast cancer and the battles that they're going through. All
right, thank you once again, Coach. We got about an hour and 45 minutes till that game starts, so we're going to have to get out of here quick so we can go get this set up after we leave the Alvin Taylor Fieldhouse. So thank you once again, Coach. And once again, this was the Inside the Dragon Den. In addition to, we will come back probably every Tuesday, barring a baseball game.
Absolutely.
Every Tuesday to give you our players of the week, which once again were Isaiah Slavin, Harrison Shelton,
and Alex Duggins. There we go. I think he said Sam, but I wasn't going to correct you because they both played well.
Right. Sam does play well, and I messed that up during the broadcast too, because we did give him a player of the game for his relief efforts, the 2 2/3 innings and 5 strikeouts.
Yep.
Once again, thank you for watching Inside the Dragon Den, and we'll see you next week.